Welcome back, Bears fans, to another video on the island. As always, I appreciate you guys just tuning in. Hit that like and subscribe button if you appreciate the content. And for the first time in 8 months, we actually get to review some Chicago Bears football, and especially we get to review our first look at Justin Fields, which just breathes a whole new breath of fresh air into this franchise and just the change we've been hoping for. And speaking of change, today we'll be recording the video in my family home in the Bay Area instead of my college apartment up in Humboldt County, where I go to Humboldt State University. So kind of goes with the theme of the video, some changing times. And before I jump into talking about Justin Fields and this offense, I just wanted to touch on the defense super quick because this is a team review. I'm not just reviewing the offense or just Justin Fields, but I could also go on about the offense and everything, I think, for a while. So I want to touch on the defense first. And my initial look, which I want to preface everything I'm going to say, obviously this is the first preseason game. You can't weigh that much on it, but it's still a good token to kind of at least give you an idea of where some people are at. Obviously, it's not bulletproof for everyone. You're not going to be able to get a read on everyone perfectly, but still gives you an idea of where the team is at, even though, most people are kind of a little bit sloppy since it is the first game back. But with that said, the first thing that jumped out to me was I thought our interior defensive line looked really good. Akeem Hicks looked good early on. I know he didn't play that much, but looked really as dominant as always. Tonga and Chris Tonga and Angela Blackson. They both looked really good, and it wasn't too late in the second quarter. It was like end of the first, early second, so there's still some starters at least out there. They both looked really good, and I just thought the interior defensive line had a really good push throughout most of the day, but, majority early. And besides that, though, with the edge rush, I thought it was incredibly poor. We could not generate any outside rush. I mean, it kind of scares you because you think about last year, that was the exact problem. Khalil Mack was getting double, triple team, and Robert Quinn couldn't do anything. And obviously we have Akeem Hicks back, we'll have Eddie Goldman back, so that should make a difference going into the season. But, Khalil Mack needs some help, and Robert Quinn really needs to step up because that's one of the worst signings Ryan Pace has made so far, and it's only been 1 year, and it's been awful so far. So edge rush was poor. They were letting people outside. Tua was getting outside the pocket. Really did not like that. But our secondary seemed pretty solid. I mean, at least both safeties were flying around. Deion Bush was coming up laying the wood. Houston Carson obviously got an interception off a great bait on Tua. So they looked pretty good. Shelley, I saw, got in there on a few good plays. I think he's probably our main slot guy at this moment. And so that's kind of what I feel with the defense right now. And so let's jump over to the offense because that's what I want to talk about. And before I jump off into that, Sean Desai looked like he did a pretty decent job. I mean, it's kind of hard to tell. They're mostly playing some basic coverages, but for the first time, not terrible. However, now let's jump on to the offensive side of the ball. And I think we all saw it. He was only in for... Andy Dalton took up the whole first quarter, but, the time he was on the field was very minimal. And when I was talking about just a second ago, we couldn't get a pass rush and we couldn't stop people from getting outside the pocket or outside contain, the Dolphins had the ball the entire first quarter. And then finally in the second quarter, the defense started getting some stops. But the offense looked lethargic as always, and Andy Dalton looked like absolute shit, okay? It was almost exactly what you expected. It was like, I've had apprehensions with them keeping Nagy this whole time because he took over play calling again. If he didn't take over play calling, I wouldn't be as apprehensive. But the fact that he took it back after claiming that the reason why they brought in Andy Dalton was because his relationship with Bill Lazor, that's horseshit. Let Bill Lazor have the relationship and call the plays. You don't have a relationship with this fool, so why are you calling plays? So, from the jump, you could tell it was just lethargic. We couldn't get anything going. The defense was getting driven on up and down the field. And then our boy Justin Fields gets in the fucking game. And the first drive, terrible position. They're inside their own 15. Riley really false starts, so then they're pushed back even more. Then I think Elijah Wilkinson, the left tackle, false starts again. So then they're in their end zone. But Still made 2 good throws. They obviously didn't get the first down, but one was a check down, and the other one got like maybe 7 yards or so. So nowhere close to the first down, but poised rookie. I love the fact that, it didn't turn into like a Mitchell-esque scene where it's just panic and just throwing the ball somewhere where it's like, dude, you don't have to do that. He was poised. Next drive, comes in, drives him down the field. Amazing 2-minute drive. I loved it. Literally, I thought with 4 seconds left, I'm like, okay, well, we're going to throw a Hail Mary or some shit. Not expecting Justin Fields to have that awareness of, you know what, dink, dunk, go. Get an extra 5 yards. Cairo Santos looking great as usual. 53-yard money right through the field goal post. You jump to the second half. Justin Fields took over. You saw the speed. You saw the pocket escapability. You saw, the one touchdown pass he had that was really deep. Obviously, that was a good play design. And more so just, obviously he was wide open. But that's all you need to do in that situation. Just make the throw. He's that wide open. But just the way he commanded the offense for a guy who just got here and has been told you're not going to be the starter. I thought he looked incredibly good. He didn't take a sack, was getting out of the pocket, had rushing yards, had a rushing touchdown, had passing touchdowns, had a pretty good passing completion percentage. I loved it. Bears fans, if you guys are not excited for this season, y'all need to pinch yourselves and wake yourself up, because you saw what Andy Dalton and Matt Nagy were in those 2 drives. And that's exactly what you expected it to be. Just lethargic, not good, not moving the ball. The defense, obviously, you can't say that Justin Fields had no impact on the team, because as soon as he gets in, the defense starts making plays, actually getting sacks, causing a turnover. We haven't had turnovers since like 2019, and that was like the year, I'd say 2018. So that was amazing to see, and just to show how much one player can make the difference and just inspire a team to say, you know what, we just got to make a few plays, and this guy is going to do the rest and just help elevate everyone on this team and elevate the team as a whole. So, guys, he looked, I think, great. He looked poised. He looked calm. Didn't let anything get to him. Obviously, he had the one pass that got batted and was almost picked. But, it's a tip ball. Once it's tipped, it's kind of just anybody's guess who's going to catch it or not catch it. I'm just glad we got to see him actually on tape. We get to do another review of these next week, which I'll definitely be back with. Try to do the player reviews, and I just, kind of got caught up with some other stuff, trying to do some financial things, going back and forth between home and school, just trying to enjoy the summer. So, appreciate you guys sticking with me. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll be back next week with another review. With that, bear down, baby. Go watch those Justin Fields highlights, because god damn, it feels good to know we have a quarterback now. And doses, bear down.